So the next kit is the early summer planter kit. Now this is a glorious kit, in my opinion, of the most beautiful summery, early summer sort of tones. In my opinion, in a garden or in the home, if you've got plants in the home, there is nothing better than whites and lilacs and purples. That is pretty much, apart from a little bit of apricot and a little bit of blush in my garden, that's about it in terms of colour. That's as far as I go. In my opinion, it's just beautiful and elegant and classic and rustic, and I feel like this is my garden in a pot. So I really hope you enjoy it, and I'll talk you through how to pot it up now. So in your kit you will have your gorgeously oversized scallop planter. It's a 25 centimetre pot. It's really substantial, really great for like planting anything really once the season's over. So yeah, it's a really good sort of staple pot to have in your collection. You will have your compost and your gravel and your mosses, 2 different types of moss. You will have, in plant wise, you will have a geranium, you will have a white sort of double bacopa, you will have a lilac double bacopa, you will have a white mega bacopa, it's a single bacopa but it's called a mega bacopa, and then you will have this stunning purple viola. So I'm going to show you how to pot it up and then give you all the tips to enable you to look after it in your homes. So we'll start with the gravel. So you just add in all of the gravel that's in your kit. It's just to add in some drainage so that those roots aren't sat in water for a prolonged period of time. And then I'm going to pop in about 1 inch of compost in the bottom, so sitting on top of your gravel. Okay, maybe 1.5 inches there. Okay, and now I'm going to start adding in the plants. So I'm going to begin with this beautiful purple viola. Gently take them out of the pot. Look at that beautiful root system. Please excuse my sniffles. I'm actually going to pop in a little bit more, I think, compost, just to raise it up slightly. There we go. So I'm angling that slightly towards the edge of the rim of the pot. So I'm not sort of popping it upright, I'm angling it. Just makes it sort of sit a little bit nicer, a little bit more relaxed. It's just a good little tip for when you're planting pots. Okay, let's pop in the white geranium. Now with this geranium, I've left on some of the sort of brown petals, and I've left on some of the slightly sort of discoloured leaves. Now the reason for this is because that is completely normal for geranium. So we try to take as much stuff off as we can here before it goes out. But if you find that you've got some yellow leaves, you simply snap them off. It's completely normal. So just gently taking those off. It's just purely where they're just not getting as much sunlight as everything else, and it smells so lovely when you do take them off. Okay, and then I'm going to take off, as you can see here, there's a little bit of brown petal. Again, completely normal. The flowers do go over, they bloom and then they go over. You take them off and then new buds sort of replace them. So you're just going to sort of snip them with your fingers where they sort of meet the main stem, like this. So I'm just going to start that again because the tree fell down behind me. So you're going to take off any of the brown petals and you're sort of pinching them off where that individual sort of stem meets the main stem, and you'll see like this. So you'll see that there are little buds next to it, so you want to keep those, but just sort of snip with your fingers where that individual sort of floret of petals meets the stem, and then take off any yellow leaves just to keep it healthy. With geranium, they should last and last and last. So I have mine in my kitchen coming up to 1.5 years maybe now, and it is huge. It's too big probably. I should really have cut it down a bit more before the season started, but it's massive. So with some bright sunlight, mine's just on my windowsill in my kitchen, and it's northwest facing, so it's not particularly like, you know, it's not a south facing room. It's not dark, but it's not really, really bright, and it does just fine. So this is a really good plant if you're looking for something easy to look after and that will last a long time. Anyway, so I'm going to take that out and pop that in. And then let's pop in the white double bacopa. Now again, this has got lots of buds on it, but only a few flowers. So in the next week or so, that will bloom. And then the lilac bacopa, one of my absolute favourites. Go there. And that will just drape and trail over the side. I'm trying to think whether to put that on there. I'll put this one. And then here is the white bacopa again. When the flowers go over, you can just pinch them off, so easy, and then that then encourages more buds to bloom. Ooh, trail over the side there. And again, everything is going to grow, so give it a bit of breathing space between everything, and then we simply add in the compost in the gaps. So around the edges. And in terms of deadheading the viola, now violas are really easy to look after. I've got a white one in my kitchen on my windowsill, and it went sort of, it had white flowers on, then they all went over, so I took them all off, and then it just stayed green for probably 2 weeks, but it looked really healthy. So I kept it there, and I thought, oh, is that it? No, surely not. Anyway, I left it there. Now it is insanely beautiful. It's doubled the size. It's got so many white little violas on there. I use it for salads. I sprinkle them on salads. I also sometimes pop some in like a little drink in an evening. It's a really, really lovely edible flower. Same with these violas here, you can eat these. Don't eat the bacopa or the geranium, just the viola. So yeah, if you find that the flowers go over, don't give up on it. Please, please don't give up on it. If it stays green for a prolonged period of time, a couple of weeks maybe, don't give up on it. If it looks healthy, just leave it. Just keep watering it like you're doing with the rest of the planter. And I assure you, as long as it's looking healthy and it's not got any kind of bacteria, you know, I say this feeling pretty awful and poorly at the moment. Try not to, and I'm sure this will probably die because I'm coughing and spluttering everywhere, so that is not good for it. But as long as there is no kind of, you've not sprayed any kitchen surface cleaner around it or anything like that, or nobody's coughed or spluttered all over it like I've been, excuse me, it will come back. So please don't give up if it goes just green with no flowers. Just take those flowers off once they've got over and just wait. Anyway, so I popped in the compost. I'm just going to push that down gently around all the plants. And as I said, give them some space and they will grow into it and fill this planter within a few weeks. Now we can add in our moss. So we've got flat moss and sphagnum moss, and we're just sort of adding that in on top of the compost. It stops the moisture in the compost from evaporating too quickly, as well as finishing off the potting really nicely. So in terms of care, you want to be keeping your planter damp but not waterlogged. So don't overwater. I'd say you'd be watering sort of every 3 days. If it's really warm, maybe every 2 days. But just keep an eye. The viola in particular will tell you when it's thirsty, because what it will do is it will almost just go like that. It will just kind of flop. You'll give it a water and within a few hours it will be back up. They are really an incredible plant to have as a houseplant. Obviously, if you're keeping it in the garden, unless it's a really sort of a few days of hot sun and dry weather, in which case you will need to water it. If not, you just let this lovely British rain water it instead. In terms of sort of deadheading, when the bacopas go brown, you just pinch those flowers off, and then that encourages all these little tiny buds to bloom. Viola, when that goes over, it will sort of just go a bit limp and floppy. You just take your fingers or some scissors, and you sort of take it all the way down to the stem, and then you snip it off. Really simple. You can't damage it. If you cut it too far down or not far down enough, it will be fine. And then let those new buds grow. Geranium we've gone through, so you just simply take off the brown petal near the base of the stem and take off any leaves that yellow. Again, completely normal. So pop it somewhere really nice and sunny. Like I said, my viola and my geranium are on my windowsill, northwest facing, so nothing massively bright, but just go as bright as you can if you're indoors, and keep it damp. And that's about it. So that is your early summer planter kit.